Hello! Today I will be creating pixel art in Aseprite inspired by this beautiful magical image I randomly found online. So this is a part 1. I hope you'll enjoy this video and let's jump into it. I begin by selecting and creating the color palette for my image. I'm trying to keep it simple and just start sketching out the rough details of the image of this beautiful castle. And I'm trying to make sure I'm placing all the elements roughly on the canvas first, something that catches my eye first, such as big clouds and mountain. Just see how they all play out together in my way more simplified version of the image in pixel art in Aseprite. Here I start to map out the castle. I'm trying to keep it very simple and very toned down regarding the details and the colors, that they all play off together nicely. Gives me a better idea about the size and the shapes of the objects based on the image. And I'm also starting to map it up with some highlights and shadows just to make sure that I am consistent in where the light hits the objects and where the shadow drop. It is very hard not to jump in into making a bunch of details at once. And hey, it's important to have fun, so I'm playing around with some dithering at this very early stage of creating the pixel version of this magical castle in the clouds in the mountain. And yeah, it's more, it reminds me a lot of the game. You essentially try and test and failing and changing your strategy. Just you saw this giant cloud just disappeared because I figured out it's better, works better, this color works better for the castle highlights. And here's a little person, maybe it's a magician or just a traveler that discovered this beautiful castle somewhere. We don't know. It doesn't really matter. What matter is to get rid of all the clouds. Since I'm new in Aseprite, I'm still getting comfortable with learning all the shortcuts, which make the job so much easier. And sometimes I'm forgetting to use some of them, though they're incredibly useful, like what I'm using right now. Um, Without going around the small details, you just selecting the part where you want to work on and you just going ham, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm very proud of myself when I do remember to use all these wonderful tools. Since I'm trying to keep the palette very simple, you can see the tones that I use for the clouds, shadows, and highlights and mid-tone are pretty much the same as I use for the sky in general. I'm trying to remember that they're big and they're fluffy. There are a lot of them, but I don't want to do too much. But just the right amount, which is often hard to decide when is the right amount. There's a lot of clouds between the mountains that are on the different layers. See here I don't remember to use the select tool for the area, so I'm just carefully walking around. Well, it's also part of fun. And here I remember to use them. Yay! It is really fun to explore and play around with new tools. Aseprite is a very cool software, so everybody who is doing pixel art probably familiar with this, and somebody who's interested in Aseprite is awesome. Not sponsored by Aseprite. This little preview window on the bottom right is so useful. I can't stress enough. It helps so much to not getting lost with all the small details, and the closer I work with the smaller details, the easier it is to lose the sense of the whole image, the shape that I'm working on. And again, I'm new in making pixel art, so this preview window is a lifesaver. I'm also using my mouse, not a pen tool, and that makes it a little bit more challenging. Here you see I'm adding an extra layer to add a little bit of the fog, though it is discouraged typically to use any kind of opacity changes in pixel art. It needs to be a solid blocked color. As you can see throughout all the clouds on different layers between the mountains, I'm still maintaining the same exact palette and trying to keep it simple, trying to keep it consistent. And that's where the tools are coming so handy. And I forget to use them sometimes. I'm now going to the castle making, big part of this image. And even though I'm not trying to go into very high detail, I still want to have this general look and feel of the castle by playing with some negative space, shadows, and highlights, and had a lot of fun doing it. It's a very, very fun process. that's it for the part one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the part two. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful rest of your day.